We are continuing the momentum of Setup Wars Season 7 with another banger for you guys today. Welcome to episode 332. Sit back and relax as the Setup Wars begin. It took a lot of energy, holy crap. So Lian just released their brand new Galahad 2 Trinity coolers and actually giving away 10 of them just to my subscribers watching this video. The winners get to choose between one of their 3 brand new AIOs, starting with the standard Galahad 2 Trinity, which features ARGB fans with lighting supported by a pump block header. Then you got the Galahad 2 Trinity SL-INF that's equipped with 3 of their Infinity fans, and then we have the Galahad 2 Trinity Performance, which, as the name suggests, offers more performance through larger fans, a stronger pump, and a thicker radiator. The performance version will also not have any RGB and will focus mostly on performance and aesthetics if you're into the whole non-RGB look. If you guys want to check out any of their brand new coolers, I'll have a link down below. And if you guys want to enter for a chance to win one of them, all you have to do is click the Gleam link in the description section and just follow the instructions. This is a global giveaway, by the way, so as long as you live on planet Earth, you can enter. And there'll be a total of 10 winners selected by Lian Li. So good luck, and now back to the video. Ladies and gents, we are starting off the episode with a bang. Cyrus's setup got nothing on this. Okay, we got the one and only Mr. Tybox123, also known as Adam. And for those of you who've been living under a boulder, Adam here is a legend from YouTube. Okay, he used to be one of the OG tech channels that focused on Apple products and smartphone videos. This goes way back when I was still doing smartphone content. Remember the days of camera comparisons and speed tests? That's basically what helped my channel grow so fast. I was actually subscribed to Mr. Tybox123 during that era of smartphone content, and I looked up to him for quite a long time. I mean, who can forget the iconic Hexa displays that has graced the tech YouTube scene for over a decade? Myself and many others have always drooled over this magnificent work of art, dreaming that one day we would achieve something similar. Now, even though the monitor layout itself has remained fairly constant over the years, the setup itself has gone through many transformations. YouTube was a pretty big part of Adam's life back then, but now it's just a part-time gig while he focuses on running his many successful businesses. So it's safe to assume that the setup's purpose is work, and you guessed it, more work. I've always appreciated how Adam was able to perfectly align all 6 of his displays so seamlessly with one another. We got 6 32-inch 4K monitors from Dell, all mounted against the wall to achieve this beautiful floating look, which is just high enough to squeeze in a few Bose companion speakers underneath. I love it. Now, before some of you guys start commenting down below that this is absolutely overkill, let me remind you that just because you have no use for 6 displays doesn't mean that Adam doesn't. I believe Adam does day trading as well in combination with running his businesses, so all 6 displays play a vital role to ensure his workflow is very efficient. I like the subtle warm tones from the RGB strips bouncing off the walls to match the custom butcher block countertop, the accent wall with a TV, and even the art that he's got hanging above the monitors. You can tell everything was carefully thought out and planned because this entire space is cohesive and it acts as an extension of his room rather than a separate workspace. For the peripherals, of course, he went wireless, rocking an Apple Magic Keyboard, a trackpad with an MX Master 3S. And the thing that's powering it all is a decked out 28-core cheese grater with what appears to be a NAS right behind it. But he's also got an entire cabinet filled with storage on the other side. The entire setup is perfectly crafted. There's an element of sophistication and a perfect blend of function and form. To put it simply, this workstation is out of this world, and I see no reason why it shouldn't take home a seal. Adam, congrats on winning the 58th seal of approval on this insane workstation of yours. Hit me up on Discord to claim your plaque and your free TechSource mousepad if you choose. Thanks for coming on the show. This next setup takes the meaning dual setup quite literally, and at first I was very confused, like most of you probably are watching this video. How was Ollie able to use one PC with 2 setups? Well, I did a bit of digging, and apparently there are multi-seat software out there that split your Windows operating system between multiple users. This means you can plug in additional USB devices like mice, keyboard, and monitors and use them independently from one another, all off of one system. That's a pretty cool way to maximize efficiency without having to buy another PC. And judging by the extra footrest and different set of peripherals, I'm going to assume he shares a setup with someone else, but I could be wrong. They both have a 28-inch 4K monitor from Samsung, however the first setup has an extra 18-inch and vertical for multitasking. I love that each setup has its own set of peripherals and mouse pads to add a bit of personality and help distinguish it from each other. The desk is actually custom made, and I like how it curves back to match the width of the wall. This way it's not sticking out from side to side. We do have a few sleeves and Velcro straps in the back, keeping all the cables nicely contained, and the rest of the wires underneath the desk are also managed very nicely. I haven't really seen a dual setup quite like this on the show before, so thank you, Ollie, for sharing this with us. Coming up next is TJ, who's a public safety emergency dispatcher from Virginia. He's basically the person that picks up when you dial 911 in America and transfers the call to the appropriate department. I gotta say, that's one hell of a cool job at the age of 19. I bring up the job occupation because that actually had an impact on the setup's purpose. You see, TJ has been fascinated with radios ever since he started his occupation, so much that he started buying his own and programming them. So aside from gaming, graphic design, and video editing, the setup is also used to monitor public safety radio communications. He saved up for several years buying all the gear, and he put the entire setup together in just one day. The centerpiece of it all is the giant 49-inch CRG9 Ultrawide. That's the primary, with two additional 24-inch displays up top as an overhead. That is certainly one way to do a triple monitor setup. This is the optimal layout to get the most screen real estate possible when your primary is a 32x9 ultrawide. All monitors are hooked up to an 8-foot butcher block from Home Depot that's also raised by a few generic furniture legs. Under that, we got some of his radios and his wireless peripherals, a Corsair K57 paired with a Logitech G502 wireless mouse. Now, even though he's got the space for all the radios and speakers, I think a nice wood monitorizer would help clean up the look and also hide some of the surface cables at the same time. Aside from the speakers, he also swaps to the Sony's and the Shure MV7 mic for gaming. Underneath, the setup looks very busy, which is to be expected since the setup has a ton of gear, but I believe TJ did a fantastic job managing everything. Tons of cable clips, Velcro, and sleeves were used to help route the cables into the back of the PC that's mounted underneath the desk. It's a pre-built from Omen that's packing an i9 12900K and an OEM RTX 3080 with atrocious cable management inside the case. Omen should be ashamed of themselves. I think the radio integration with the setup is pretty cool, and it's obvious that you have a lot of passion in that field and you're not afraid to share it with the world. Excellent work on the setup. Best of luck to you on your career, and thank you for coming on the show. Changing up the pace a bit, we have a pretty dope Iron Man themed dual setup. Bajista has a gaming partnership occupation from Canada who likes to game on his spare time, so he decided to build his very own dedicated gaming den in one of the bedrooms. The star of the show is of course the CRG9 Super Ultrawide from Samsung, sitting on top of a sit and stand desk from IKEA. Bajista is also team wireless with the Razer Black Widow V3 Pro and an MX Master 3 mouse, which is interesting considering that he has a gaming partnership occupation from Canada. I would definitely invest into an actual gaming mouse over the MX Master 3. Not much else on the desk other than a few controllers, a tablet, and his notebook for some productivity. And when it's game time, he puts on his Xbox headset that's stored underneath the desk. The PC behind the setup is a Frankenstein of a build featuring a Ryzen 9 3900X and the NVIDIA RTX 2080 Super. Now, the case is custom painted in the Iron Man color scheme, which looks very nice, but the parts in it sadly don't complement each other. Not only is the GPU in the wrong slot, but the stock PSU cables are an absolute eyesore. You got nice cables for the EPS connector up top, so why not commit and swap the rest of the cables too? Aside from that, I do like what he did with the wall decor. Using a combination of rustic pipes and wood shelves, he created what he likes to call the DC corner, which has a few figurines that he hand painted himself. And it also complements the Marvel hero wall art that he picked up from Etsy. There are some areas that can definitely be improved, and I wouldn't exactly call this an Iron Man themed setup when you have a bunch of other superheroes displayed, but nonetheless, it's a pretty nice setup. Thank you for coming on the show. Wrapping up the episode is a subscriber that goes by the name of African Scentsy. No, not Sensei, but Scentsy. Not sure if that was a typo. Anyways, the inspiration for this setup came from watching a single episode of Setup Wars, an infection that has plagued many users watching the show. Setup Wars has opened their eyes to a whole new world where function meets form, and this setup is a prime example. Just like most people, he started with an ordinary setup. No organization, no care for cable management, and a lack of personality. But over the course of 2 years, he has made some modest upgrades, ultimately leading to his most recent creation, a beautiful, cozy sit and stand battle station. So the setup is used for studies, gaming, and content creation, and he does it all on the LG Ultraride that's mounted to the E7 Flexi Spot desk. For peripherals, he's rocking an NZXT keyboard with a SteelSeries Prime mouse and a custom coiled cable that's routed beautifully underneath one of the speakers. Everything is nicely spaced out, and we got a bit of decor as well with that bonsai tree in the middle, which was a really good way to use up the empty space on the desk. Speaking of using empty space, I really like Scentsy's use of space for this setup. He took advantage of all the walls to hang up pegboards and some shelves to help with extra storage and decor. For the most part, I think he's done a really good job sticking to a certain color scheme. Everything works so well together, except the color of the wall. Personally, I'm not a fan of that color. I think black would have looked nicer, or better yet, a lighter shade of gray to add a bit of contrast against all the black gear and the wood tabletop. I feel like the brown wall sticks out more than it should, especially against the white wall in the living room. But again, that's just my personal taste. Cable management, however, is exceptional, and it's even more impressive with a sit and stand desk because you have to spend a lot of time measuring and planning to make sure that the cable lengths are perfect. That way there is enough slack for the desk to raise and lower. Pairing everything is a beautiful blacked out custom PC featuring the 12700K and the Palette RTX 3080 with custom cables. But when he's tired of gaming on the setup, he rotates over to the couch to game on his PS5 or Xbox Series X. I just love that he has options here. A very inspiring transformation over the past 2 years, and I'm really happy to see that the show has helped you get to that point. Thank you, Scentsy, for sharing this with us. As always, ladies and gents, let me know in the comment section which of these setups was your absolute favorite. If you guys are enjoying Season 7 so far, maybe consider tossing a like before you head out, as it does help out the YouTube algorithms. I love you beautiful toenails, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.